Hey, everybody. Welcome. Latest edition of the Kolpack and Izzo Podcast, brought to you by Gate City Bank. November football has arrived. North Dakota State back on the road this weekend to the Ice Castle to take on Youngstown State, the Penguins, with a 5-3 record waiting in the wings. Before we even talk football, Kolpack, the biggest news broke yesterday on Twitter that Tim Miles is going to be calling basketball games on Fox this year. How in the world is that going to work?
It's no surprise, right?
No,
the guy's
not at all.
a motor mouth. I mean, he's a talking machine. He may stick with it. I mean, and the reason he's doing this is because, well, he got bought out.
Yep.
And you can gain other employment as long as it's not coaching. And so it's a way for him to stay in the game. It's a way for him to keep his contacts, keep, more important, his personal, his profile
Correct.
out there.
Yep.
There's a MO of coaches being fired, going into broadcasting and getting back into
getting
coaching.
back in, absolutely. To this point, he will be outstanding on television, and I think you hit the nail on the head that he may stick with it. He certainly could if he doesn't. I think he'll go and coach again, but he could certainly stick and stay with this. I think he's going to be really, really good on
Depends
TV.
on the money, I think, because the coaching money is so good at the Division I level that it may be hard for him to just deny that. I know he's a Dolan, South Dakota small-town kid. He worked for minimum wage at Mayville, Southwest Minnesota State. NDSU, he wasn't making that great of cash.
Nope.
And they're still not making that great of cash here, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. But then you go, and once you get used to that level of check, I guess, it might be hard not to go back.
Right.
What do broadcasters make, you think?
Oh, he's getting six figures, I bet. For Fox, I think so. Maybe not high six figures, but I bet.
Like
I bet
150? He'll get like 150 doing that?
If I'm guessing, but yeah, I would think so. That he's a well-known name in the sport. The issue, and I'm curious if he's going to be doing Big Ten. I didn't see the schedule. Did you see the games he's going to be doing?
I don't think it's been released that he's been doing, although he gave Juwan Howard a little nudge on Twitter today.
So because Fox also has the rights to the Big Ten network, so he could be calling games in his old league here this coming winter, which that would make sense because he knows the most about it.
No, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Glenn Mason, I think, has done a real good job with football after he left the University of Minnesota, found his new niche, so to speak, and stayed in the league. And because his knowledge of the league, I think he's been really good on the Big Ten network.
I agree. All right, let's chat here. North Dakota State, Youngstown State. If there's any road spot outside of Springfield, Missouri that has been a bugaboo, it has to be this place, Jeff. Even though the Bison have won the last 3 times they played in Ohio, outside of 2013, 2010, right down to the wire. 2015, 2017, right down to the wire out in Youngstown.
It's been a bugaboo, Don, because, Youngstown's been pretty good. And more important, they've been pretty athletic, especially on defense. Now, are they as athletic and good on defense this year as they have been in previous years? I mean, giving up 35 to Southern Illinois is a little disturbing. The Jacks scored 38, and that was after a really slow start out in Stambaugh 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
So, and those other schools, I mean, Howard got 28 points on them. Howard.
The Southern Illinois game is the one that Pelini still even references now, that SIU was up. It was 28-10 at halftime, and they were doing everything they wanted, SIU, to that point. They couldn't be stopped defensively. That Youngstown had no answer in that game. That, I'm sure, drove Pelini more nuts than the South Dakota State game did the week before that.
Doesn't it seem like they always have a meltdown
They
game
do.
like that every year?
Well, they normally have a meltdown middle part of the season, which they just got done with when they beat Western Illinois last week.
Yeah, and so to answer the question and get back to it, I don't know if they're athletic enough to stop NDSU through 4 quarters. Now, and this is the perfect schedule for Youngstown this year. This was a year for them, to really rebound after making the national title game in 2016, and we really haven't heard from the Fighting Pellinis since then. That you had 4 cupcakes in non-conference, which may come back to bite them, actually. I mean, there's no quality wins whatsoever there.
If they get to, let's say they're, 5-3? If they finish 7-5, so if they go 2-2 down the stretch, which is possible, they play the Bison, South Dakota, Indiana State, and Illinois State. 7-5 going to get them in?
Not with their schedule. Their quality win right now is Samford, and that was back on August 24th, 45-22. I'm not sure what has Samford done. Nothing. Then you have Howard, Duquesne, Robert Morris.
Yeah, Bob Morris is on there. Yeah,
you got a bunch of first name teams. All these schools. So that's your first four: Samford,
Right.
Howard, Duquesne, Robert Morris.
Okay, quality losses, Kolpack. Give me some quality losses.
Northern Iowa.
That's a quality loss.
South Dakota State.
That's a quality loss.
That's it. Western Illinois was not a quality
win.
There's nothing quality about it.
No.
Did you see, and we'll talk about Nathan Mays a little bit later, but he set a career mark for 4 touchdown passes. Did you see those 4 touchdown passes?
Yeah,
There was nobody guarding. Was there anybody guarding Penguins receivers?
There wasn't much resistance Western Illinois put up on Saturday.
Which makes me a little curious to Western Illinois and how, they have just quit on that program.
It's this season at least, that this season, and we'll see the Letternecks in Fargo next week, and that could be a bloodletting that happens in Fargo next week. Now, to your point about quality win, let's say for Youngstown they lose Saturday, okay, but they get a win over Illinois State maybe to end the season, and they get South Dakota. Okay, so let's say they lose.
South Dakota's out of it, so that's no big deal.
So let's say they go 7-5, if their quality win is Illinois State.
That may sneak them in. It may.
But with Southern Illinois also 7-5, they would get the head-to-head.
No, Southern Illinois.
I would take SIU over Youngstown. So to circle back on what you said, we thought in the preseason as well, okay, Youngstown, they're going to be 4-0. And all they need to do is go 4-4 in the league, and that would get them in. And now that might be too hard a task to do.
I don't think you can take a team with a losing record in a league in the playoffs, can you?
So if they go 3-5 in the Valley, that would put them at 7-5 overall. I don't think so either. I don't
think you take a team with a losing record in conference play.
Even if you say, okay,
you shouldn't anyway.
The argument is, hey, it's the toughest league in the country, and they fought well in some game. I don't think so. I don't think there's a lot of ground to stand.
So this is their deal on Saturday.
I agree.
This is their season on Saturday, and I feel like we say that a lot about NDSU opponents. Okay, here's their season.
Right.
This is it.
This truly is, though, for Youngstown on Saturday. You mentioned Nathan Mays, who we have seen for a long, long time. We saw him as a true freshman in 2016, helping the Penguins to the national championship game. I thought when he played the Bison out there in 17, Jeff, he was good that night. He was efficient. He could move. He threw a couple of nice touchdown passes.
Good runner, breaks tackles.
He was able to get out of the pocket. But something happened where either he lost the trust in Pelini or vice versa, and
been in and out.
He got benched
then, right?
last year, but then he came back and played against the Bison here in Fargo.
Well, and so what do we make of him? I don't know.
Yeah. I that's a good question. I don't know what to make of him.
I don't think he can throw on NDSU particularly well. He just doesn't strike me as a gunslinger whatsoever. Strikes me as a dual threat guy who could get you a 3rd and 4 first down with a good RPO, read pass option kind of play or something like that. I don't see him going 5 for 6 on a drive.
No. I thought.
And what do we always say? What it takes to beat NDSU?
Got to have a good running mobile quarterback.
You have to have a great quarterback. Yep. Great quarterbacks will beat NDSU. Taryn Christian beat NDSU.
Brian Shore beat NDSU. He was pretty good too, able to move out of the pocket. This Youngstown is interesting though because the last couple times out there, the Bison have started flat. They have not played well early in the game. That's something I know you wrote about this week, and you asked Matt Entz about. That what has happened in 2015 and 2017 to prevent that happening tomorrow night when the Bison play out.
I don't know how you let's go have a good start here,
let's
fellas.
Play better off the start. I don't know how you do that.
Do you change up your scripted plays early in the game? Do you go back to that and study that sequence? Does Tyler Roll look at, what were our first 15 plays in 15 and 17 and then change it up?
Yeah.
Or is that just or are we just grasping?
Maybe overthinking it there.
No, one of the risks here is it's a night game.
Yep.
And so the team will be hanging out at the hotel all day.
All day.
So they're going to do a walkthrough in the morning, and they're going to do one in the afternoon, which, with an afternoon game, obviously you wouldn't do that. 2 walkthroughs in one day, you're going to have to – it's going to have to be a slow build. I don't think you can wake up on Saturday morning, run out of bed, and go, let's go.
Right.
I'm ready.
Yep.
It's got to be a slower build throughout the day.
Here's the interesting part. I believe they at least 2 years ago, I know this for a fact, they stayed at the same hotel that we did, and I know my dad did because he saw the walkthrough in the parking lot. They did the walkthrough, one of the two, because it was a night game.
At the Holiday Inn in Boardman?
They did the Holiday Inn Boardman in the parking lot because there were a couple of people that were, around NDSU. Hey, what do you, my dad was just saying, checking out what's going on.
I'm just filming this.
Right.
No big deal.
To put it on Twitter or whatever. But yeah, that they did the walkthrough in the parking lot. But that, to your point, though, this is out of the routine of normal. This is the only night game they have during the regular season.
Isn't there a room in that hotel that's big enough to most of those hotels? I can't believe they stay there then.
You remember?
But there must be nothing else.
Frisco, they did that. They did their this past year for the championship game against Eastern. That first night, they did a walkthrough in the hotel. And that's a brand new hotel they stayed at this past year, but they did their walkthrough down there. I guess maybe they changed it up. Maybe they're not staying at the same place in 2019, but I'm not sure if they're going to do that again this time around. Let's chat about the Bison sort of things here. Trey Lance is 2 passes away from setting a school record for the most passes thrown without an interception, which is now, here we are in the 9th game of the season, Kolpack, and it's November 1st as we're recording this, and still without a turnover. It's beyond remarkable now.
151 is what he's throwing now. Easton Stick had 152 from the 2016 quarterfinal game until, when did he get it? The South Dakota State game.
Yeah, it was the SDSU game
2017. That's quite the streak. Then you also have Carson Wentz at 143. Brock Jensen twice, 142 and 140.
He was always good with the football. It's
what do we make
though.
of this?
Hey, shit, bro, that's my question to you.
You know what's really remarkable about this? He's rarely been close to an interception.
Right.
I can think of maybe 1 or 2 throws this year where he thought, oh, man, potentially, and I can't remember the games.
Northern Iowa was one. Northern Iowa was one where he almost got picked off. It could have been a pick 6 against UNI. And Cal Davis, I think. Does that sound right? I think the Cal Davis game, there was one there.
2.
Yeah.
So 2 passes this season. And the biggest reason, of course, and we've been saying all year, is because his offensive line gives him great protection. There's not a lot of throws under duress where he's just trying to maybe throw it away, or he doesn't have the time for the receiver to break, or he doesn't get to his second, third, or fourth read if he's actually getting that far. But we think he may be a little bit. It sounds like the progression has been there.
Absolutely. I was impressed as well Saturday where he knew he was going to have to carry the ball quite a bit, but he still made a couple of good throws. He made the throw to Ellefson in the end zone after the turnover. That was perfectly.
And there's one to
pass.
Sproles where he just got hit right over the middle.
It was early in the game.
Delivered it for a first down.
It was a beautiful throw. That was a zinger right over the middle. You're exactly right. Where
he
was
took
under
the hit.
pressure. Yeah, he was under pressure, got hit, and still delivered a zinger on the road. Now, and to your point, you were talking about this a couple times earlier in the season. This is not going to be a tough road environment on Saturday.
No.
That was my next question. What do you think we're going to see tomorrow night when we're out there? Because
the crowd?
Right, because we're late in the season.
It's going to be high 30s.
So it's not warm.
It's definitely not warm. They just don't draw. They haven't drawn well for a long time. Well, they haven't made the playoffs
once since 2006.
You look at their letterhead on their release.
Right.
YSU football, 7 FCS title game appearances. 2016, then you go back to 99, 97, 94, 93, 92, 91.
It's a long drop-off there.
It's a long drought, and it's so long ago that the fans do not remember Jim Tressel as a head coach.
Right.
It's too long ago.
They remember Eric Wolford, and things didn't go so well for him that he got fired, and now Pelini's been the coach.
And let's be honest, it's not a great economically thriving area.
Nope.
It's a depressed area. So, people, I don't think you can overstate that their priorities are putting food right now on the table, right? Your priority is not spending $35 to a game.
No. But they still have, you look at it, they've got a brand new press box that we're going to see for the first time. That indoor facility across the street is phenomenal. I mean, they have put money.
And their old press box and stadium club suites are phenomenal.
Right. They've put money into Stambaugh Stadium. So, I mean, it's not like they've let it go to disrepair. It looks good there, just that nobody goes to the games anymore. Yeah. They just don't.
It would be interesting on attendance with South Dakota State after selling out last week at Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium. That now we're going to, and let's be honest, and 6,000 or 7,000 of those were NDSU fans.
Easy.
So that puts you at 12,000 South Dakota State fans. Now the weather is turning south.
Yep.
So what are you going to see? 6,000? You're going to see a third full stadium at best.
Yeah. Well, they still have they have 2 really big home games coming up, too.
But they're not going to draw it down.
Yeah,
it's too cold.
That's probably right. So
unless there's some 60-degree miracle day, which I don't see happening the way our weather's been hanging for the last year.
When you
don't even know what average is anymore.
Yeah. Now that we're about a week removed now from how the game played out, what really stood out to you from the Bison win in Brookings on Saturday? Everyone's focusing on the fourth down play, the crazy fourth quarter. Now that we're a few days removed from it, what still stands out to you about how that game played out on Saturday down there?
Oh, I just, yeah, that's a good question. It was such a long day with so much going into it.
It was.
That what stands out is how can you not the 4th and 1 call?
Yeah. Just, it's just something that we were not used to seeing. And I think you pointed out in our postgame show that the previous 2 regimes,
Kleiman and Ball would have punted.
No way that would have happened. And let alone they go for it, they get it, and not only they get it, they get a touchdown out of it that ends up winning the football game.
And it was a really good play call. I think one item that we need to emphasize to our listeners in the Red River Valley, Cody Mock was in that play.
Yeah, how about that?
A walk on from Hankinson, came here as a tight end, gained a whole bunch of weight, muscle, and whatever. And the kid was a part of that play. And he could be part of one of the biggest plays of this year when we look back at
Absolutely. And the block he threw to get Cofield sprung loose, absolutely right. To watch it again, and I've seen it a couple times now from the angle I shot it and a couple other ones, it was gargantuan. And South Dakota State didn't see it coming, and they go on and the Bison win. So now, going forward, we've talked about where the Bison are at. How about the Jackrabbits now, finding out Jabari Gibbs has a fairly significant knee injury.
We think he's out for the year, right?
Well, it's phrased he's out for the rest of the regular season. What you're hearing, it could be a lot worse than that.
Well, isn't it like say what it is?
If it's an MCL, okay?
Don't you owe it to your fans, Stiglmeyer, coach? Don't you owe it to your fans to tell your fans, your boosters, your supporters what it is?
You believe that? They should be out front with it and say what the injury is?
If I'm a season ticket holder and I spend $2,000 a year to watch the team play, I think I deserve to know what the starting quarterback status is. And what's the gamemanship anyway?
Because they might think, hey, Gibbs can come back for the second round of the FCS playoffs if it's an MCL injury, which that's not what we're hearing is what the injury is. We're hearing it's more significant than that. Let's go back to 2015. When we first heard that Wentz was hurt, remember when the first rumblings that Sunday, it took us, we met with Chris Kleiman on Monday, not a peep.
Right.
We were still working that story. Then Tuesday, bam, NDSU put out the announcement that Wentz was going to be sidelined for, I think the rest of the season. I think it was, I'll have to go and look at that press release. He'd be sidelined for the rest of the season with a broken wrist.
And doesn't that tell your team, hey, because that question's going to keep coming up and up and up to the players. Whether they're walking around campus, whether some reporter comes up to them, hey, what do you hear about Gibbs?
Right.
I think you got to. I think you got to put that behind him, or just tell it like it is, so the players don't have to listen to all that jabber.
Right. I totally agree with. I found the press release.
That was fast.
I don't delete any emails. The headline: NDSU quarterback to miss 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
North Dakota State head football coach Chris Kleiman today announced starting quarterback Carson Wentz will miss 6 to 8 weeks with a broken bone in his throwing wrist. Wentz sustained the injury during last week's 24-21 home loss to South Dakota, but was able to finish the game. Initially thought to be a sprain, further tests Monday and Tuesday confirmed a non-displaced fracture. Wentz will have surgery Wednesday. And then I remember right, we visited with him on Friday of that week. So that's how they phrased it when he got hurt. 6 to 8 weeks, which was exactly right on. It was 2 months, and he was back practicing for the FCS championship game.
I know somebody who was in the operating room area when Wentz had his procedure done, and it was cleared out.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, did you read my book?
Yeah. So
you must have glossed over that.
So nobody was around for that part of the procedure.
It was very different, is how it was phrased. It was it was a very different feel that day.
Interesting.
Not that they brought him in with a bag over.
I was
going to
say they put him in, a cloak and dagger. Do they have him in there and they couldn't get him in? Okay, so now for South Dakota State, where do they go from here? Keaton Heide, which we speculated on the video blog on Monday, would be the guy. He is the guy for Singelmeyer.
He is the guy, man. He's a true freshman. It's going to be their running game's going to have to carry the load now, and the running game has been for the most part carrying the load. Pierre Strong is outstanding,
really
tremendous.
Good. Yep.
But it's going to boil down to, and I can see why Stig's starting Heide, because he's a better thrower. You just can't have Kane and Nelson back there, and all you can do is run. You're already one-dimensional. He was 2 of 7
yep.
against NDSU,
yep.
and didn't look good in the process. But then Heide throws that pick,
right.
But he's a true freshman.
They have Mo State this week, which they can win with a true freshman. Then it's Illinois State and Northern Iowa back-to-back in Brookings.
You got to remember, Mo State can bring some defense, though.
They play the Bison well. I thought they played the Bison well on defense. And then they end the season in Vermilion. South Dakota State is 6-2. What do they finish? What's their record with those 4?
Can I say after this week? I want to see how the Heide kid. That's an unfair question, but okay, I'll take a stab at it. I think with a true freshman, you drop one more.
I do too. I think they finish 9-3. So where does that put them as a seed, Kolpack?
What name the schedule?
At Mo State.
Okay.
They win that game.
Yep.
Illinois State at home.
Okay, what's after that?
Northern Iowa at home.
I think they lose to Northern Iowa.
I do too. And then they end at South Dakota. So if they go 9-3, where are they put in the bracket? I say
to quote you.
Yeah, 6 or 7, I think they will.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they would fall.
You think
to
they
6
drop
or 7.
that far?
With 3 losses? Yeah, because Kennesaw is
Those are 3 quality losses.
I know it, but Kennesaw would move ahead because they're only going to lose 1 game. I know,
God.
but the committee, and we'll talk about the committee here in a second, but you figure Kennesaw will be up there, and the Weber-Sac State loser maybe will be ahead of them as well because they would have 3 losses, but 2 of them would be to FBS schools.
Let's go over Kennesaw State's schedule.
Oh, I know.
August 31st. Point. Who is that? They played some school called Point.
Point University.
Point University.
Yes. They won that game, right?
Lost in OT to Kent State.
We should have won that game.
Should have won.
Yep.
Alabama State. Ooh, there's a good one.
Wow, you're raining on the SWAC here.
At Missouri State. Won.
They struggled in that game, too,
by
the way.
Then they beat Reinhardt. Who in the hell is Reinhardt? You got Point and Reinhardt on your schedule.
So
Reinhardt.
You got 2 non-division.
Is that Randy
wins.
Reinhardt's?
I don't believe that's his school. No. What else? Who's out after that?
Charleston Southern.
Okay.
Presbyterian.
That's a Division I school.
North Alabama, which beat Western Illinois, which doesn't matter anymore.
Yep. Who do they have left?
Monmouth, which
you like Monmouth. You got
Monmouth's got a much better schedule than this. They went to the Grizz, and they have an FBS loss.
Okay, here's a hypothetical for you to really throw you into a tizzy. Say Monmouth wins tomorrow, okay?
Yep.
What do you do with Kennesaw? Do they get in as an at-large now that Monmouth would have the head-to-head in the Big South? Would they take 2 Big South teams with Kennesaw having 2 non-D1 wins?
Kennesaw would have 2 losses on the season. Pretty hard to shut them out.
Who else do they have after Monmouth?
But how many Division I wins?
Well, if they take 2 off right now, what are they?
They'd be 9, 10 and 2. They'd be 8 Division I wins.
Right. They put themselves on the bubble, I think.
It's on the bubble.
Who else does Kennesaw have after
Campbell?
Monmouth?
Campbell.
Yeah, they'll win that game.
Hampton.
They'll win that game.
Gardner-Webb.
Yeah, they should win the rest. So tomorrow's a biggie. Tomorrow's a monster game for them.
Tomorrow is huge for the Owls.
But to your point on that with South Dakota State.
Point? You mean the school or my point?
Not the university.
I'm confused.
We're moving on past that. Where you put them, South Dakota State, and if they were to lose another game and they go 9-3.
Oh, I got to believe top 5, don't you?
They're 3. If you say they lose to the Gophers, the Bison, and Northern Iowa.
Well, then you stick Northern Iowa in there. Yeah, you're right. 6, 7, 8.
I think so.
Yep.
I'm more convinced if they lose a game that they will not play the Bison on their side of the bracket, though. I think the committee would move them. Right now, I have them on the same side because I dropped SDSU to 4.
Let's hope they move him for the sake of something new. Right. We've been saying every year.
I know. Every single year.
And if the Jacks come here, you're going to have a freshman quarterback. most likely.
But who have been playing now for
He's still a true
2
freshman.
months.
Still a true freshman in this first game at the Dome.
All right.
Dom. That's a tough deal.
Shall we look through some other games here before
Let's
we do
do
some
it.
pick 'em?
Yep.
The other highlight game is Saturday night, tomorrow night in Sacramento, California. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. Weber and Sac State, 3 versus 5.
I
in
like
the country.
Sac State. I like Sac State. I think they have their defense going. Their quarterback's outstanding. The best quarterback on the field is no doubt the Thompson kid from Sac State.
I agree.
Cal State, Sacramento, not Sac State.
Yeah, that's their official name. Yes.
It is. I like Sac.
If they win that game, where are they? The third-ranked team in the country, right?
Yep.
You'd
Two
have-
FBS losses.
Because you'd have the Bison 1. James Madison has a bye this week.
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento State has to be the third-ranked team in the country.
I believe you're right. Yep.
I mean, they would drop Weber to where? How far does Weber drop?
Well, not that far because there's really not that far to drop. The bottom half of the poll is just so bad in terms of being a top
Absolutely
25
right.
team.
Yes.
I'm not condescending on them being bad. I'm just saying in the scope of a poll.
I can condescend. It is bad. The bottom half is bad. It's not 18 through 24. When we do our bracketology,
I'm not saying
show,
they're that bad at teams. It's just a bad for a poll.
very, very mediocre. When we do our bracketology show, when we try to pick 18 to 24, you're going to look at me and go, what?
Oh, I know.
How are they going to be in the tournament? Like, who else are you going to put in?
It's going to be a head scratcher.
To that point, before we do our pick-up, University of North Dakota, bye week this week, 5-3. You and I, a couple others, were taking some heat about, A, where to put them, why we haven't ranked them. And I said it on my radio show, so I'll defer now to you on what you've done with them in your poll this season. But just let it be known, this was the first time they've won back-to-back games this season was when they beat Montana State on Saturday.
Well, the first quality win of the year, certainly.
Sam Houston State was probably...
It's getting better. Yeah, you're right. It's getting better. They were ranked 24th at the time.
Yeah.
UND beat them. Eastern Washington's turning out not to be... Well, it's turned out to be a bad loss, really.
Yep. And the Idaho State loss, we can't even underscore how bad that one was.
Bizarro part is their losses. They weren't really never in the game.
Blown out. The Bison, blown out. Eastern Washington was a double-digit loss, and then they lost.
So at Weber in 2 weeks, that'll be the playoff determiner.
I think they already are.
You think they're in?
At 5-3, look who they've beaten.
So they'll be 7-4.
Right.
With Southern Utah and Northern Colorado.
They should win those games. Right?
At home, too. Both are at home.
So if you were to look at their resume at 7-4 compared to, let's say, Youngstown State at 7-5, who would you put in?
Well, I think certainly UND just because of a better schedule.
I agree with you.
Hands down.
Yep.
Sam Houston win. The Montana State. Youngstown doesn't have anything like that.
Even the Davis win.
Youngstown has to win on Saturday.
Yes, I agree.
Then what do you do?
Well, if Youngstown's 8-4 and UND is 7-4?
Or Youngstown's in.
Right.
Better quality win.
Yes, I would put Youngstown.
And another win, frankly.
Correct. Let's do some pick 'em here before
Yes.
we wrap up the show. So we'll start with that game in Springfield. Does South Dakota State get challenged at all on Saturday?
I think they do. Anytime. And when Wentz went down, it's not like NDSU went out to Indiana State and blew them out. It was, 28-7 or something like that?
I think 28-14.
28-14, yeah. And so I see something similar like that. That's what I'll call 28-14.
You like South Dakota State? South Dakota goes to Macomb, take on Western. Does Western win a game this season?
No.
Winless. Wow.
Did you see the tape of the Youngstown game?
I did. It was bad.
My goodness.
It was bad. Here's a game that I thought these two teams were in the playoffs solidly, and then I did my bracket Kolpack, and both of them are out. Delaware at Towson.
Yeah.
Each team at 4-4.
They're out. You think they're out?
I have both of them out right now.
Right now. The winner of this game.
I think can play themselves back in.
Correct.
So who do you have?
Towson.
I like Towson at home here.
Delaware, I just cannot understand what's going on. Their fan base must be, and we were out there.
Yep.
Must be, and it's a pretty good fan base. It's not bad. I just can't believe they're going to be put up with Danny Rocco doing this much longer.
That's
and with all the $61 million they're putting into
the
their
amount
facilities.
of money they're spending. Absolutely right. Yep. They got to the playoffs last year. That ended a drought, especially after the drubbing they took in Fargo. So he probably bought himself a little time, but they expected better than 7-5. 6-6. No doubt about that. Northern Iowa at Illinois State. Monster game in the Missouri Valley on Saturday afternoon.
That's a toss-up.
It's a good game.
I think Northern Iowa's a little better team, I think.
I take Illinois State. I like the Redbirds at home because they're home. I'm taking that.
James Robinson, is he healthy? How many? Does he have like 700 carries by this time of the year?
Probably could have 1,000 carries by the season's over. But
I like Illinois State's receivers too. They have a couple good, really athletic. Are they back though? Isn't one back yet?
One is not back yet. No, and the other one's out for the season. Northern Iowa's got some pretty talented receivers though too. Isaiah Weston's a really good player.
Illinois State has a better running back.
So you're going to Illinois State.
Both quarterbacks are.
You going to pick here or what?
I'm going Northern Iowa.
Okay, all right. SIU is in Terre Haute. I think this is when the Salukis get hot, start winning games.
SIU wins this game, certainly. And for once in November, it's been a long time since the Salukis have had something to play for in November, so good for them.
How about this? Monmouth and Kennesaw State. We haven't picked this game ever before.
I'm going with Monmouth, baby.
You are on the Hawks.
Yes.
I like Kennesaw at home. I'll take Kennesaw State with the triple option. They get the win on Saturday.
That win over Point's really going to Point. And what's the other one? Reinhardt.
You find out where Reinhardt is and get back to me. Stony Brook and Richmond in the CAA.
Stony Brook.
I like the Seawolves. I like them there in that game too. I think they get to 6-3 on the season with that win. Let's do a couple other games here before we wrap. Nichols and Incarnate Word. This is a loser out game for a playoff spot.
Nichols, I'm just tired of picking him. And the Incarnate Word, the Word. Is it at the Word?
It is at the Word. It's in San Antonio.
I'm going to the Word.
All right. I like Incarnate Word here as well. I think they get to 6-3 and probably solidify a playoff spot with that win. We're not going to pick the Bison game, but give me a couple of keys. What do you think? How does Youngstown knock off the Bison on Saturday?
It's going to have to be Nathan Mays is going to have to throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns, I think, and really make some plays that we haven't seen him make against really good competition over the years. Youngstown struggled at quarterback since really they had a guy named like Tezzy or something like 03.
Oh, wow.
They have not been that good at quarterback, Dom, in that long. And I'll go to Kurt Hess, but Kurt Hess never played well in big games.
Hess had the one good game in Fargo. Remember they won in 2011. I think it was like 20-24 in that game.
And he was really good that day, and that leads to my point, that Nathan Mays is going to have to play a little better than, much better than what he has been capable of against good competition.
Here's the thing, though. They don't have the running game like they had in the past, where it was...
Yeah, Joel Leslie is a fifth-year player who really never played until this year.
Like Jody Webb. Remember him? He was really good. McCaster was really good. Martin Ruiz, he was really good. Those guys were really good.
They're good on defense. Defensive end, Justice Reed is a sack machine.
I like Cash Mitchell in the back, too. He's really good.
They got some players, but they're not nearly as talented as they were in 2016.
No, I agree. I think that they're going to have to play a perfect game, I think, on Saturday.
I think NDSU's letdown game really was Missouri State a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I don't think there's this post-South Dakota State letdown. And why would there be? They've known nothing but playing ranked teams all year.
Right.
It's got to be the toughest schedule in the FCS.
Or it could come next week against a winless team with Western Illinois. Maybe that's the letdown.
Dom,
game.
you and I could rush for. Did you see those holes?
You're really hard on McComb here.
I am really hard on McComb because I watched the tape. The holes were a mile wide.
All right,
those guys hardly got touched.
I know it's not a good.
All
year
right,
for
let's
the
go.
Lennox. That's wrap up our podcast. We've got a full day of coverage. Our pregame show 11 a.m. on WDAY Extra on Saturday morning, and then we'll hit the road for Youngstown for the coverage of the Bison and the Penguins. Jeffrey, myself, Big E, and Mike McFeely. We got the full crew back together for the first time.
The band is back
in a few weeks to cover Youngstown and NDSU. Thanks everybody for listening to the Kolpack and Izzo Podcast, brought to you by Gate City Bank. We'll see everyone next week.